Welcome back to Purely Gluten Free. Today on Borderless Bites, we're going to France. Today's dish from France is coq au vin. It's a braised dish of chicken in red wine. It's got mushrooms, pearl onions, garlic, thyme, bay leaf, parsley, and a little bit of chicken stock, and we're going to show you how to make it. In the spirit of a French dish, what we did today was a lot of mise en place. It means getting everything together before you start cooking. And so we've got the pearl onions here. You can see I've got red pearl onions. It's not really what I wanted, but I went ahead and got them anyway because that's what I had available at the grocery store. And it'll just kind of tell you that there's no reason not to make this dish if you can't find the exact ingredient that you're looking for. So we got red. I would have used white if I found it. We've got white button mushrooms that I've quartered up. There were a couple of them that were big that I just cut in 6 pieces, but you want them a little chunky, a little meaty, and all about the same size. We diced up a tablespoon of garlic. We've got some thyme and bay leaf. We've got bacon that we have cut into strips, and we've got some fresh parsley that we're going to put in the dish, and we will also finish it with it. The chicken we're going to use today is the dark meat of the chicken. I bought chicken quarters, which are the thighs and the legs attached. They are bone in and skin on. What I did was I separated the thighs and the legs and then removed the skin. The skin, when you start braising it, gets real weird and rubbery and not very good. So we're gonna take that off today and not use it. What we're gonna do is season the chicken with salt and pepper. So we're just gonna throw some salt and pepper on these. And we'll flip them all over, get them on both sides. All right, we are going to dredge them in my homemade bread flour. The recipe for this will be down below. I use it for almost everything that I do, from desserts to breads to roux, thickening sauces, and that's what we're going to use it for today. So we're going to dredge the chicken. That will help us thicken the sauce at the end. All right, so we're just going to throw the chicken in, toss it around, and then we're going to pat it. And this is going to get a lot of that flour off. You don't want it, you want just a thin coating of the flour on there, so it doesn't get gummy on the outside of the chicken. We're just gonna do that with all of our chicken. Then we're gonna get it into a pan and start searing it off. Get some color on it. All right, now that our chicken has the flour on it, we are going to sear it off in a little bit of avocado oil. And that's just gonna give us some flavor. It's gonna start building the browning on the outside of the chicken. That will get washed off to some degree inside the braise, and it's gonna flavor the sauce. So once that gets hot, we'll get all our chicken in. All right, now that we have flour on our chicken, we're gonna sear it off. This is gonna give us some browning that's going to help with the flavor in the final dish. We're gonna get all of this chicken. I should be able to fit it in this pan. Start browning it off. All right, so you can see we're getting some browning on that one. That one got a little dark on me over here, but that's what we're looking for. Just a nice golden brown. All right, I'm gonna move this pan to the back stove and continue to brown this, and then we're gonna start with building the rest of the dish. All right, in our Dutch oven, we are going to start with the bacon. This pan is still pretty cold. The heat is on, but we wanna start baking kind of in a colder pan. You don't wanna burn the meat of the bacon before it renders its fat, and we are certainly looking for that rendered fat. So we're gonna kind of go slow on the bacon over a medium heat. When the bacon's about halfway done, we'll go in with our onions and start caramelizing those. All right, you can see that the bacon is starting to get brown. So we're gonna go in with our pearl onions and start caramelizing those. This is all building flavor in the dishes. It's a very French technique, is to build flavors one on top of another. So we wanna bring that caramelization throughout the dish. The Maillard reaction is what makes things brown, and that's what gives us flavor. All right, now we're gonna go in with our mushrooms. Mushrooms have a lot of water in them that we wanna get out. And to help doing that, we're gonna throw a little salt in here now. And we'll go in a little pepper. One of the reasons we didn't slice our mushrooms thin is because it's a longer braise. It's gonna cook for about 40-45 minutes. And we want those mushrooms to hold up, and we don't want them to break down and turn to mush. So while we're gonna get the water out of them here, we want them to stay in that little chunky medium for the whole braise and hold up at the end of the dish. All right, now that our mushrooms are browning and they've released a bunch of their water, we're gonna go in with the garlic. So we've got our minced garlic. You wanna cook this until you can smell it, which is just 30 seconds to a minute. Garlic burns easy and you don't want any bitter flavors in your final dish, so we're not gonna let that go too long. Now, we're gonna go in with 2 cups of red wine. It's about a half a bottle. This 750 milliliter bottle holds about 4 cups of wine, so about half of it. And we're gonna let that reduce. We're gonna drive off the alcohol and concentrate that wine flavor in there. So when it comes to a simmer, you can kind of smell the alcohol burning off. That's what you want. Right, we are gonna simmer this until we reduce the wine by about half. So we started with 2 cups and there'll be about a cup there left when we're done with this. All right, the wine's pretty much reduced. You can see the line where it started and where it is now. We're gonna go in with 1.5 cups of chicken stock. We're gonna put thyme and 2 bay leaves. I had dried thyme today. You can use fresh thyme. I used 1.5 teaspoons of dried thyme. I would have used about 3 teaspoons of fresh thyme. So if you're gonna use the dry, it does concentrate the flavor and you'll just need to back off by half. In a braise like this, using the dry herbs, you're not gonna make a huge difference, only because it's going to rehydrate in the broth as it cooks. All right, now as that's coming up to temperature, we're gonna put our chicken back in. All right, we dredged the chicken in the gluten-free flour. It's going to help us thicken the broth that's in there. We're not gonna know how thick it is until about 20-30 minutes from now. So we are gonna pop a lid on this. It's gonna cook for about 30 minutes and we'll come back and see what it looks like then. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. We're just gonna see how this is thickened up so far. I actually like how that looks. Not as thick as it's going to be at the end, but it is thickening up nicely, so our flour has done its job and we'll continue to do that as it reduces. So all we're gonna do is pop the lid back on and wait another 20-25 minutes till the chicken is nice and tender, fall off the bone, and we will plate it up and taste it. All right, it's been 45 minutes. Let's see how we did. All right, the chicken's nice and tender. Gravy's thickened up nicely. We'll get that plated up. Earlier I made some mashed potatoes, the perfect side dish for coq au vin. You can also put it with noodles, you can put it with roasted potatoes. Side dish of some glazed carrots would be great. All right, let's get us some of those onions and mushrooms. You can see the chicken just falls off the bone, tender. The onions are nice and braised. Those mushrooms have absorbed all of that wine and chicken stock, and see how we did here. Chicken's cooked perfectly. Using the dark meat in these braises gives you some leeway of cooking, so it can take a lot more heat than chicken breasts. That's why we use those. Those onions are super soft and flavorful. Mushrooms are great. They held up. Paired with the mashed potatoes, man, everything goes together perfectly. I hope you make this one and tune in next week and we'll see what we do next time. All right, we're gonna spin, see what we do next time. I hope you enjoyed our trip to France. Next time we're going to Chile. We're going to South America. It's gonna be awesome. Y'all tune in.